Welcome to the ABCs of Preschool, the show that covers all things from parenting to childcare. And we're going to get real about how not just to survive, but thrive in the early years. I'm your host, Miss Amber. I'm a mom of 5 and early childhood expert with over 25 years in the industry. Whether you're a parent, an educator, or just curious about early childhood education, this podcast is for you. Each week, we're going to dive into what life looks like raising little ones, with special guests, industry experts, and personal stories that will leave you inspired and empowered. Get ready to explore, imagine, and discover the beautifully messy that comes with these magical years. Buckle up, because thriving during the early years is a wild and rewarding ride. Welcome to the ABCs of Preschool. I'm your host, Miss Amber. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had a great week. So I've been doing this a long time. This topic today, we're going to talk about standing out in the crowd, tips for our early child care centers. And I've been doing this a really long time. And it doesn't feel like I'm that old. I don't think we ever feel like we're getting old, but we are. I'm 46 now. I've been teaching since I was 19. So that's been a long time. And I've owned my own center since 2001. Wow, it's crazy. I opened up right after 9/11, and I've been doing this a long time. And I think I'm successful at it. Actually, I am. I own it. I own that I am an expert in this field. It's weird to say because I've never really been like a bragger, but I am excited. I'm passionate. I've been doing it for so long. So I definitely know what works. So I'm excited about this episode, and I want to help you if you are a child care center owner, if you're a director. How do you stand out in the world of early childhood education, especially when there's a school here and a school there and a school there, and there's so many choices that parents can have? How can you have your school stand out from all the rest? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm excited to talk about this because I might love it. If you are a child care center owner and maybe struggling right now, if you're a director at a school and you're just saying, hey, we are really having a hard time, reach out. Reach out to me at thelovingstartway.com. I'd love to chat with you. I'm really passionate. We just need so many more high quality early child care centers. We need more of you, more programs. There is not enough to go around. There's a lot of kids in this world that need love and need a safe place to be while their parents are at work. So we need you. We're going to talk about 3 key strategies that will differentiate. I never say that word very well. That will set you apart from the crowd. How about that? So the first one is create a unique educational philosophy or curriculum. I talked about this last week for home daycare providers. Curriculum, and your philosophy is so important. What is your philosophy? What do you bring? What do you believe in? What brings you passion? What excites you at the beginning and the end of the day? And what does your curriculum look like? Now, I know some of you may be Montessori, Waldorf, play-based. There's lots of different amazing philosophies, but what is your school philosophy? And when you're doing tours, you should have your parent handbook. You should have it all written out, your philosophy and your curriculum and your program. Like, what do you stand for? What is your goal? What are you teaching your students? Because if we change the narrative of early childhood education and we want to we are not babysitters, we are teachers and educators. We have to show up every single day as a teacher and an educator with a plan, with activities, and with a very engaging, high quality curriculum and philosophy. You need to have a distinctive educational philosophy that sets your center apart. Have you snooped on all the other centers around you? Go on their website, snoop around, especially if you're a new early childhood center and you're trying to just kick off your school and get off the ground. Or maybe you just bought one. I bought one last year and I had to revamp the whole thing. It's not easy, but to stand out in a crowd, you have to know exactly what you stand for. It has to be clear because you have to be able to explain to parents your philosophy and your curriculum. And so, right, we have the Montessori, we have the Reggio Emilia, we have STEM focused, nature based. Like, go with your passions. What are you passionate about? Also recognize that kids learn different, right? Like, so you may take, like, for me, the Loving Start way, we take all of the great philosophies and we put it into our curriculum because we know that every child learns different. And we want every child to be celebrated for their uniqueness. And we want them to be given an opportunity to learn from all the greats. So that's like step one, really dialing in and knowing and understanding that you can actually verbalize your philosophy to a tour. And then tailoring your community needs. This is another really big one. So every year, for the last 24 years, when we do our new schedules, we put our new calendars out. It's always like, what do we need? What's gone good and what hasn't gone good? And what does the community need? So, like some years, there's a ton of 3-year-olds coming through. Some years, there's a ton of 2-year-olds. Like, what is it that your community needs? Some communities, I had a few schools that worked really well at being part time their entire history. So, in one small town, I had a school and our program was set up from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Yes, you heard that right. And it worked for 16 years. Most of my other schools have been a 7 to 5:30 or 7:30 to 5:30. But what is it that your community needs out of you? Is it more 3-year-old classroom space or more 2-year-old classroom space? Or is it they're looking for more of a play-based or more natural in nature feel? So go look at your competitors. What are they doing and what can you do a little bit different to set you apart? And then communicating your unique approach. It is so important. Like I said at step number one, you have to be a good communicator, really. So if you are an owner at a child care center and maybe you are an absentee owner and you're not there every day, who is your right hand person and who is your mouthpiece? Like, who is speaking on your behalf? Are they good? Are they talented? Can they close tours? Like, you need to make sure that they understand your philosophy, your program, your curriculum, your beliefs, and you need to make sure they are an extension of you. The worst thing you can do, and I've made this mistake, is putting someone in your place to run your school that is not aligned with your philosophy and your beliefs and your core values. So, who is your mouthpiece? Because they need to communicate. They need to communicate with the little ones that are coming through, with each family. They need to be able to hold conversations through the tour, to connect on a personal basis. So, it's so important for communicating because they need to be able to communicate what your school is all about and how and why your school is so awesome and everybody wants to be there. And another tip is we have to enhance parent and community engagement. This is huge. Part of the magic of preschool is friendships. There's so many people that meet their people when their kids are really young in preschool. Like, what do I mean by that? I've been doing this for 24 years and I still have clients on my Facebook that we keep in touch. I have kids that have grown up and been married and got married, but so many of them have come to me and told me I have had the best friends because I met them at Loving Start Learning Center. And part of that is having community events. So at my schools, we always do school events. It's huge. Yes, it will cost you a little bit more, but it is huge. You want to create a community within your school because it's a perfect and amazing way for families to meet and become besties and raise their kids together and go on vacations together. It's a beautiful gift that we have as early childhood educators. What community events are you having? It's so important. Like we do back to school ice cream social for back to school. We do a big Thanksgiving feast and a Christmas program. We have an Easter bunny hunt. We do Valentine's Day parties. We do Mother's Day tea, donuts for dad, spring open house. Just all these events get the families in one place so they can mingle and meet others. I'm telling you, it is so important. You want your school to be an extension of family and you want to serve your community around you. It will also build just a positive reputation among all the families if they're all friends and they believe in your program and they get along really well. I'm telling you, community involvement is huge. And even giving back to your community. Like we've done canned food drives. Oh, we've done like harvest festival. Oh, angel tree at Christmas. It's also really important to give back to your community because what a gift. We have such a gift as childcare center owners to serve our community. And so it's like the whole package. We're not just teaching the kids, but it's giving back to our clients and our community. Oh, date nights is really cool. It's a great thing. Parents love it, especially at Christmas. You do date night, they can go Christmas shopping. Anyways, what are you doing for your community? It's so important. Another tip is testimonials. You've got to get the testimonials. Now, it's a sad thing because so many people are easy to complain, right? The world is just set up like that. It's so easy to like throw out complaints, but it's so much harder for people to actually tell you the good. Why is that? Maybe today we all need to go around and tell someone something good, give them a compliment, because it's so easy for our society in these days to show and speak of the negative. But testimonials and word of mouth is awesome and amazing. I use a program called So Tell Us. I would totally check it out. It's awesome. So we do review drives twice a year, and then we do like, hey, we would love a new review, and we enter you in a raffle for $200 off monthly tuition or something like that, and make it easy for your families to leave reviews. But testimonials and word of mouth is really, 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 really important. And don't forget that, because you need it on your Google, your Facebook, your Instagram, all of that. Actually, Instagram, you don't have reviews, but reviews are really important. That reminds me, it's about time for us to do a review drive. I think we'll work on that. And another tip is invest in high quality staff. Oh my goodness. For a school to work the best way and to be the best and to stand out, you've got to have the best team. And if you have someone that is not good, start writing them up and get rid of them. Fire fast. I have made the mistake for many years because I like people so much. And I believe people can change. And I believe the best in people. And sometimes people cannot change. So if they keep showing you their ways, and if they're unkind to kids, fire them. If they're on their phone all the time, they're not paying attention, if they're just not quality, let them go. It is okay. Invest in a high quality staff. And I know in our field, we can't pay just the greatest, but you can give them extra days off. You can give them grace when their kiddos are sick. Try to be the best, to stand out between all the other schools. It is about your staff. Let me say it again. It is about your team. Your staff should come first and then everything else. Truly, truly, truly. If you do not have a high quality staff, it can break your school. It cannot work very well. Really invest the time, money, and energy into your high quality staff. Truly, 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 truly. And with that, you should put on your website, they should have their bios, their names, their photos. We have a teacher wall. So when we run tours, we have all our teachers with their bios and their kids. So, so, so important. So there's some tips for you to stand up and be different and be the best that all the families want to go to. So you have a waiting list. Those are some of my tips. But again, if you're struggling and if you're like, oh, this is all some overwhelming, just as we are educators and we teach, sometimes we also need teachers. I would love to coach you. I would love to help you. I would like to go alongside you and to make your center the best of the best. Reach out at thelovingstartway.com. I'd love to work with you and talk with you. And if you want more time, go visit our community of curriculum. Every month, it's a new theme. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a fantastic week. This is Miss Amber with the ABCs of Preschool.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hear this podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next episode. For more information on how to work with me, Miss Amber, visit me at thelovingstartway.com or follow me on Insta at thelovingstartway.